You work for the first trillionaire in history. His house has 90 rooms and a private jet fueled on the runway in case he wants breakfast in another country. The night his number crossed, he made $188 billion between dinner and midnight, more than most countries earn in a year. And your employment contract is 41 pages. Page 30 lists your job title, Executive Assistant. Page 31 lists the AI that does the executive assisting. You spend your whole first day trying to work out what exactly they are paying you to be. There is a ticker in the staff corridor. Nobody looks at it. You will learn why nobody looks at it. And 200 people work here. Gardeners, chefs, drivers, a man whose whole job is pouring the wine, a woman who irons his newspaper flat every morning. Every one of those jobs was automated years ago. Every person here knows it. The handbook has a name for keeping them anyway: the Authenticity Program. Human presence is the estate's signature asset. Outside the gate, there is a line. There is always a line. People wait in the heat with paper resumes for jobs that were obsolete before they got in line. Your first Monday, you sit at a desk with no computer on it. The desk is walnut. It cost more than your car. By the time you wake up each morning, your job is already done. Not by you. EA7 books the flights, reads the mail, answers in his voice. On your fourth night, a woman holds her resume against the gate until security walks her back. She worked in scheduling 11 years. You know because you hear her say it to the bars. You did 9. The only difference between you is which side of the gate you are standing on. Then, on day 6, your first real order: dinner service. The house sends you to the dining room and tells you to taste his food. Not for poison. The machine's already checked for poison. You take one bite of a $50 piece of fish while the richest man in history watches you swallow. Then, and only then, he eats. Kings had tasters. Apparently, they still do, except the danger is gone, and the ritual is the whole point. At dinner service, every dish gets a card. Certified, human performed. The bread has provenance, like a painting. Your duties arrive that week, printed on one card. Be present, be visible, be human. Never speak first. He eats alone. 200 employees, 1 resident. You stand along the wall with the others. You are not allowed to look at him directly. You do anyway, in the glass of the cabinet doors. Nadia ran a restaurant in Houston. The kitchen that replaced her staff fit in a closet. Now she bakes bread nobody needs for more money than she has ever made. She says the quiet part on your 9th day. We are not staff. We are what the money looks like. You fall asleep in the richest household in human history, still not sure what they are paying you to be. The house sleeps with one window lit. The line outside does not go home. In week 3, you draw presence duty, 2 hours standing in his study while he takes calls. You hold nothing. You carry nothing. He works off one sheet of paper. The AI runs 11 companies through his glasses. The paper is a prop too. The news says his pay package contains no salary at all. 0. Salaries are for the 200 of you. On his way out, he says your name. Good morning, Mark. It lands warm until you clock the earpiece feeding it to him. You spend the rest of the shift embarrassed about how good it felt. Then, one night in February, your phone rings at 3 in the morning. The house. He wants to go for a drive. The garage holds 40 cars, and every one of them drives itself. But the self-driving ones are not allowed off the property. Too much risk. Too much press. The old silver Roadster is different. A 1963, a stick shift, older than all the rules. It needs someone who can actually drive a manual. At 3 in the morning, that is you. You drive the world's first trillionaire through the hill country in the dark. He doesn't say where, he doesn't say why. Somewhere past the reservoir, at 4 in the morning, he says the only thing he will say all night: faster. It is the first time you have ever heard him ask a person for anything. You do 60 through the hills with $1 trillion in the passenger seat, and for 11 minutes, you are the most necessary man on earth. Nobody mentions it in the morning. The vineyard gets picked by hand. The machine that could do it in an hour sits under a tarp, and the tarp is the point. When guests come, they watch the kitchen through a glass wall. The dishwasher is the most photographed man on the property. In March, you learn why nobody looks at the ticker. The number starts falling. The staff don't check the news for layoffs. They check his net worth. Your paycheck is a rounding error in a number that big. On a Tuesday in March, the number loses a digit. By Friday, 40 people's badges stop working. Mid-shift, the doors just stop knowing them. The authenticity program has a budget. It goes up and down with his net worth. Nobody had mentioned that. You watch a shuttle bus fill up with boxes. The scheduling woman from the gate made it inside in January. She is on the bus in March. The number comes back 6 days later. The house sends out 40 recall letters. 38 people walk back through the gate. One found work in Dallas. The last one shows up, holds his recall letter up to the security camera, tears it in half, and walks away down the county road. You watch the pieces drop. You think about him more than you would admit. In June, the head groundskeeper goes down between the hedges. You are the closest human. The estate's medical units reach him in under 4 minutes. They are calm. They are perfect. They are not people. You hold his hand while they work, because it is the only task the machines leave you. He grips back, hard. That night, the news runs a story about ambulance queues in the cities. The gardener lives because he collapsed on the right lawn. Nadia doesn't look away from the screen. Inside the gate, even dying is premium. In July, he rehearses the biggest speech of his year. The machines score the run-through 99 out of 100. Then he clears the room and does the whole thing again. For you, an audience of 1 in a 100-seat theater. At the end, he looks at you and asks if the joke works. The machines already told him it was perfect. He waits for your answer anyway. You tell him the truth. The joke doesn't work. He holds your eyes for 3 seconds, then he cuts it. A week later, EA7 makes its first mistake, a double booking. Your profession, arriving like a stray dog. You fix it in 9 minutes with a phone call. 9 years of skill, awake again. It feels wonderful. The write-up arrives within the hour. Conduct notice. Staff performed labor. You kill his favorite joke. He nods and thanks you. You do your actual job. Written warning. That is the day you stop wondering what they pay you for. You ask Theo what happens to people who leave. Theo has run great houses for 30 years. The only person here who remembers when staff were necessary. He's quiet for a long stretch of gallery, 11 paintings worth. Then he says, "Out there, you are a resume. In here, you are rare. The longer you stay, the more you are worth. I am proof." Cora drives 4 hours in August to see you, your sister. They won't let her past the gate, so you talk through the bars, like a prison visit. Her whole claims floor vanished in one memo in June. 40 jobs, gone. You pass an envelope of cash through the bars. She takes it without counting it. That is how you know it's bad out there. By September, the line at the gate has camp chairs. 250,000 people applied for the last opening here, so you test the water yourself. 1 application, outside. The rejection comes in 4 minutes. No human read it. No human was ever going to. Then comes the gala. 200 guests, and for one night the robots are hidden away. The house performing a world where people are still needed. You hear a guest whisper, thrilled, "Everything here is done by actual people." The way you'd say, "The floors are original." Nadia leans over. 200 years ago, this was called having servants. Now, it is called having taste. Halfway through the fireworks, a man from the line comes over the east wall. Spotlight drones pin him mid-run, resume still in his hand. The robots reach him before security does. gentle, the way they are always gentle, and the guests applaud because they think he is part of the show. The next morning, the house mails him a rejection letter for a job he never applied to. In October, your year is up. At midnight, something slides under your door. Paper, a wax seal. The renewal. Resign forever as a legacy role, or take 2 years' salary and walk. Outside, whole companies cut 20,000 people on a fraction of that, and their filings read like weather reports. AI adoption may continue to reduce our workforce. Cora votes leave. She's retraining. Human verified care work, the one label that's hiring. You're a luxury good now, she says. Luxury goods should not sell themselves to one buyer. Sell high. Come out. She is not wrong. She is also 4 hours away with an envelope of your money. You take the severance folder to the window, and you actually mean to sign it. From up here, you can count the line at the gate. You get to 41 and stop, because of course it is 41. Every one of them would take your job before the sentence finished. 2 of them held it before you. And the last time you went looking, the outside took 4 minutes to say no. The legacy contract is 41 pages. They kept the length. They insist on ink here. Human signatures are part of the aesthetic. You sign. Theo nods once from the doorway, like a man watching someone join a very old club. Nobody congratulates you. The relief lasts most of the evening. It has a taste you can't place. You will place it in November. Legacy staff get an orientation the others never see. Theo takes you down himself, with a key, an actual key. Under the house, there is a room the size of a church. The estate calls it the registry. Everything he owns has a file here. The paintings, the wine, the 1963 silver roadster you drove through the dark. You recognize the little cream cards before you understand them, embossed. You have set 100 of them beside bread. Then Theo opens a drawer with your name on it. There is a card for you, your hire date, your 9 years of experience, listed the way they list where a painting is hung, and at the bottom, embossed, the same 3 words they put beside the bread. Certified, human performed. There is a number in the corner. You make the mistake of reading it. It is more than your father earned in his whole life. It is less than the car. Theo shows you his card. 30 years in the program. I am proof, he told you, your first week. He meant this. Your number is bigger than last year. Not because you got better at anything. Because every year, there are fewer people like you left. A week later, dinner service changes. You walk in with the cards, and the table is set for 2. He points at the second chair. You sit down across from the richest man who has ever lived, and he asks you what people in San Antonio eat for breakfast. You tell him, tacos, gas station coffee, whatever's fast. He listens the way you'd listen to news from a country you can never visit. And then he tells you why there are 200 people on his lawn. The machines do everything, he says. Better than people, cheaper than people. But a machine clapping for him means nothing. It is his own phone congratulating him. Code applauding code. It only counts, he says, if it comes from someone who could walk out the gate, someone who could say no and doesn't. You look at the fish going cold between you, and you finally understand your whole year. The tasting, the theater, the drive. He was never paying you to work. You don't tell Cora. She is 3 weeks into believing humans are the next luxury market. You cannot bear to tell her how right she is. You still set the cards at dinner. Your hands don't shake. That surprises you some nights. On your way to bed, you pass the ticker. Up again. It is always, eventually, up. Through the east window, the line at the gate, longer than last year. Every person in it makes you a little more valuable, and him a little more desperate to be seen. You spent your first day here trying to work out what they are paying you to be. Now you know. Machines run his companies. Machines guard his walls. Machines clap for free. There is only one difference between you and the richest man who has ever lived. He owns his assets. You are one.